consumers are getting lazier. People are so getting used to sitting back home, waiting for 30 minutes, and the delivery guy can get whatever you want in your daily grocery shopping journey, right?
So it's not the same as traditional e-commerce consumption, simply faster. It's a different kind of fulfillment model.
Other brand, yes.
Kia ora, good afternoon everybody, and welcome to New Zealand Central. My name is Steve Jones. I'm the New Zealand Trade Commissioner based here in Shanghai, and I'm delighted to welcome here this afternoon Zoe, who's our expert in quick commerce.
Yeah.
Quick commerce, O2O, instant retail, many different terms.
Yes.
So Zoe, you're our expert in this topic. Tell us a little bit about how you got into it and why you focus on this particular subject.
Sure, I think I'll start with a brief introduction of myself. I'm Zoe, founder of Wizard, and I used to work for MNC, FMCG brands for more than 10 years. And my longest experience was in Mars Wrigley. I think you're quite familiar with what Mars Wrigley is selling. It's like Dove chocolate and everything. And then I set up Wizard. We are a company that has been positioned itself as a digital agency who are very focused on two areas. The first one is quick commerce, and the second one is interest commerce. So that's what I'm doing every day, and that's why I'm here to talk about this topic with you. And why I'm in this industry, because when I was working in Mars Wrigley, I was setting up the quick commerce business for that company. So that's the very first step. I started to talk with the platform partners and also my other brand peers and how they are looking into these different industries and how we are going to push it to the next big channel. Yeah.
Great. So coming into China, many New Zealand companies will be familiar with many of the kind of legacy e-commerce platforms in China, which is in itself a parallel universe to the Western world. What do you think some of the common challenges are that New Zealand companies face entering the instant retail market in China?
Yeah, I think I will start with when those kind of new brands are entering China market. What do they look at the overall China's digital market? Then we go into the instant retail or quick commerce, because I think China's digital world is quite complex for a lot of brands who are entering China as a starting point. Because when we talk about China, consumer-focused innovation was quite strong. And when you are in China, the stagnation is never a choice. There are a lot of platforms, like the platform you mentioned as legacy platform, Tianmao, Jingdong, and also Pinduoduo, right? I was quite fascinating about how quick this digital world is changing every day. Because Pinduoduo, I think in several years before, they saw the revolutionized social commerce platform models through the grouping buy, thought they can be settled. But then Douyin come here and they just entered in these markets as a entertainment platform. But right now it's a very major e-commerce players as today's landscape. And also platforms like Meituan entering this market as a local service provider. But right now it plays a very important role in our daily grocery shopping. So I think one of the biggest challenges for those kind of new brands who are entering China is that to look into and faced with the complexity of the overall digital world and how these kind of a channel is changing every day. I think that's number one. Number two is that quick commerce is very different. It's not like a e-commerce platform or model, but just be quicker. It's a very different third-party collaboration model. So to figure out what is exactly the operation model behind and identify what is the accurate opportunity for them to tap into, I think that's number two big challenges. And the third challenge is that back to themselves. Some categories who are naturally suitable to get into quick commerce or the instant retail channel, but there are categories that are not that suitable. So I think it's need to back to their own nature. So that is basically my 3 points, I think.
So thinking about the hyper-dynamic nature of social commerce and e-commerce in China, are there any kind of trends, maybe some growth statistics that you can tell us about which are the emerging platforms? What consumers seem to be preferring at the moment?
Yeah, that's a very good question. I think the platforms are always changing. Back then, Tmall and Jingdong, those kind of shelf-based commerce model are quite fashionable and also quite popular in that time. But then social commerce model like Douyin, like Pinduoduo are quite popular. And then instant retail, the quick commerce is today's big players. I think it's always been changing a lot. It needs to go back to consumers' behavior change, because I think number one in China, today's China, is that consumers are getting lazier. so they don't want to get out. So normally they will go to the hypermarkets or supermarkets to do their grocery shopping like once or twice a week. But right now, after the COVID time, people are so getting used to sitting back home, waiting for 30 minutes, and the delivery guy can get whatever you want in your daily grocery shopping journey, right? So I think people are getting lazier, and those kind of platforms who are bringing them more convenience can be their top of mind choice. That's number one. And number two is that no one is the single channel. Everyone is omni-channel based, so people can go to different channel and different destinations for different purpose. For example, when they are just in the indulgence model and they are gonna scrolling the Douyin platforms and see what is interesting today and what is hot today, and those kind of contents will trigger their needs, their demand, and they will just click through and buy something. But if it's in the planning purchase model, they will tending to choose like platform like Tianmao or platform like Meituan to do their daily grocery shopping or just buy something they need, like clothes, like skincare products, those kind of things. So I think everyone is omni-channel based. Depends on what they need and what kind of mode they are right now. And the third one is that the platform is getting smarter right now because the algorithm of Douyin, of Meituan is getting more and more complicated. And so today, when you get into Douyin's platform, and they can guess what you like and give you whatever you may be interested. And also, if you get into the Meituan app, like right now, it's raining out there, then Meituan can spontaneously give you some recommendation about umbrella or those kind of things you need today. So I think the platform is getting smarter. It's easier to get people to take out their wallet.
And we talked, or you mentioned scenario kind of based consumption. Can you tell us a little bit about what scenario based consumption actually means in practice?
I think the scenario-based marketing, or we simply call it consumer occasions, that was firstly initiated by Meituan, and they kind of are creating a different theory or different models to collaborate with those kind of brands. It is basically because there are vast quality of data. Because comparing with the traditional shelf-based e-commerce model, Meituan did have more data, more dimensions. They can accurately give you the exactly who, what kind of the gender and the province, the cities and those kind of things, and when and where he or she is located right now. She's at home, or she's at work, or she's just on the go, or those kind of things, and what exactly in her or his basket right now. So we can basically assume that the consumption occasion equals to the shopping occasion, because it's only in 30 minutes. That's why Meituan divided consumers' occasions into 16 different big occasions, like afternoon tea, like late snack, like morning breakfast, or those kind of things. It basically stands for people's major need right now. So consumers are everywhere on the platforms, but the brands can choose which kind of groups of the consumers or which kind of occasions I want to be targeted at. And then you can directly go into that occasions and be part of that. Yeah.
So a platform like Meituan holds an incredible amount of information about individual consumers.
Yes.
How do New Zealand brands, how do they leverage that information? How do they make it work on their own behalf to micro-target their consumers?
I think that's a good question because, it still go back to the very first question that for those brands who are entering China or entering this channel as a beginner, I think don't think of when we collaborate with Meituan, don't assume it's a big bang at the very beginning. I think a better way or a smarter way to work with them is that you choose a pilot city or you choose a pilot occasion you want to build on. Then you can use a small scale of the investment to start the collaboration with Meituan and see whether this kind of platform and whether this consumer profile is suitable for your brands. Then you get early results that encourage you to scale up, or how we design the next step or the future roadmap.
So it sounds very experimental. When I think about the kind of traditional Western marketing playbook, it might be very kind of methodological, very process-oriented, whereas in China, it seems to be experimental, iterative, trial and error, find out what works and then double down on that.
I want to share with you my new quote, complete is new perfect. Yeah.
Complete
is new perfect.
Is new perfect.
So I think just get started, because those kind of platforms, because they own a great amount of data and they have very mature toolkit, can enable you to conduct those kind of small scales environment, and that gives you the early results, can give you more certainty about future success. So I think it's more vital to get started.
So A/B testing, different scenarios, different packages.
Yes,
right.
all works.
Yeah.
But you need to have a mature product, because if you only have a concept, it can be not conducted in Meituan. It'd be more suitable for those kind of D2C or shelf-based platforms.
So you mentioned 16 scenarios. So a scenario would be a particular circumstance, a situation, a time of day where people would be in a frame of mind where they would be readily persuaded to make a purchase or some kind of decision?
Those kind of 16 scenarios or the big occasions, they need to be adapted across so many different categories. So it can be really representative, but at the same time, a little bit big for certain brand. For example, like afternoon tea. What does afternoon tea mean for different people or for different brands? Chocolate want to play a role in an afternoon tea occasion, but the meat, or they also want to play a role in it. But it's more important to get started to get your initial seeding group of the consumers, and then you can have a base or some original data to enable you to customize your own target consumer group. Because still, Meituan can enable you to create any kind of customized, brand customized group. So that is more vital for your future precision.
So if I had a clear idea about who my target consumer was, and I had a clear idea about when I think they might be thinking about purchasing, what would I have to do to actually create an offer that would be relevant?
I think it needs to go back to the operation model of O2O or those kind of a quick commerce. It's different from the shelf-based or traditional e-commerce model. For traditional e-commerce model like Tianmao, you basically set up a flagship store, and to cover China, even it's so big, you only need 2 to 3 different warehouses. Then you use the D2C model. The consumers place an order on the platform or in your flagship store. Then the orders can be delivered to the warehouse, and use the 2 or 3 days to mail to the consumer's front door, right? That is basically the e-commerce model. But for the quick commerce model, it's more complicated. It meaning that when consumers is placing an order on the platform like Meituan, the orders need to be delivered or transferred to a store nearby. A store or somehow the dark store nearby. Then the store will be 3 to 5 kilometers away from consumer's home. Then the delivery guy with scooters will go to the store to pick up the products, then deliver to the consumer's house. So you see, when we need to close the loop of quick commerce, we need 3-party collaborations: the brand, the offline retailers, no matter it's an offline physical store or a dark store, and also you need the platforms. So I think if you want to get started, first of all, you need to have some collaboration with the offline retailers or the dark stores to make sure that there are products actually listed in the platforms, so that when people are placing an order, you can actually have the stock there.
So we're talking about the difference between a model which has quite a centralized distribution and logistics system compared to a model which has a very distributed logistics and distribution and fulfillment system.
Yes.
As a brand owner, how much do I have to worry about managing those logistics? Do I have to do that myself, or are there partners who can help me set that up?
That's a very good question. I think that's the beauty of quick commerce, because in a traditional world, if you want to cover 10,000 or more stores, you need what we call frontline sales, those kind of army to help you to talk to those kind of offline store owners or the retailers, right? But right now, when you are more focusing on O2O platforms to use the new route to market to cover those kind of distribution points, you can leverage the online, those kind of online distributor like me. Then we will go talk to those kind of dark store owners. The dark store owners, they are more focused on the online business, so they are very familiar about how to put those kind of brands products into their different dark stores in a very short time. So it's easier, and you don't have to own a strong army to talk to every store or cover every store. And for those kind of dark store owners, they also have very automatic system to help you to manage the stocks and also the sell in and sell out. So that gives you a lot of convenience versus the traditional model. Yeah.
Okay. So for New Zealand products, you said it's not a model for every category. Which New Zealand categories or products do you think are most relevant to the instant retail quick commerce business model?
I think what is lucky here is that as I know, most of the New Zealand products or the categories are for those kind of food, fresh products, and also wine, and also health supplements, those kind of things. I think those products are quite suitable to play in O2O platforms because, first of all, platform like Meituan, like Taobao, like Ele.me, they start their business from takeaway. Right, so consumers have the perception that these platforms are, very capable of offering foods. So those kind of products like honey, like those kind of dairy products, people are so getting used to order them from O2O platforms. So those things are quite suitable. And products like fruits, like fresh food, those are also quite big categories in O2O platforms. But in the past, a big concern for those kind of categories that it's not standard. The quality is not standard and consistent. But I think that won't be a problem for a New Zealand brand like Kiwi or those kind of products. So I think those are the two big parts. And for the supplements, actually after coronavirus period, people's consciousness about the health care, about self-care is more and more severe. So they tend to buy more health-driven products from the O2O platforms. That's why I think for the supplements are also suitable to get into these areas right now. And also, I used to work with a lot of wine products as well. I also work with Oyster Bay from New Zealand. And because people can't wait for too long to have a drink. So and also platforms set up their own wine stores, dark stores in the platform as well, called Waima Songjiu. So a lot of a wine brand has a big opportunity to do that because platform is pushing those kind of categories. And last but not least is pet care. Because the young pet owners, they are lazy and they don't get well-planned purchase. So they normally will forget to buy food for their cats or dogs. Then O2O can give them a easier solution. So basically.
So thinking about implications for packaging or basket sizes, these are relatively small purchases rather than kind of weekly shops. They would be very impulse-driven type purchases.
Yes,
right.
True. But I think it's also kind of changing right now. At the very beginning, because a lot of O2O grocery shopping is more like the spontaneous behavior. It's like I need it urgently. Then you tend to buy those kind of relatively smaller cases, right? Smaller packages. But right now, a lot of young generations, they tend to use O2O platforms as a normal grocery shopping destination. That means that they share the same behavior when they are shopping in the offline hyper or supermarkets. So right now, the bigger size can sell pretty well in the O2O platform as well. But I think it needs more time to get bigger size.
Right, yeah. I guess there's only so much you can fit on one electric scooter.
Yes.
So obviously there's a lot of choices that New Zealand brands are faced when they enter the China market.
Yes.
How should they kind of evaluate whether quick commerce, instant retail is the channel for them? How can they measure success?
I think they need to think about different factors. The first of all is that how big this market can be for them, because right now I think the overall among every kind of e-commerce channels, O2O quick commerce and also interest commerce are those two who are growing fastest. So I think people or those kind of brands need to think about how big this channel can be and what kind of categories they are and what kind of a market share they can get. That's number one, the market size, right? And the number one is that whether they have a stable supply chain to make sure that they can collaborate with kind of no matter light stores or the dark stores to make sure there are enough stock on the platforms so that they can get started to do the business, right? So that's number 2. And number 3 is that whether they need to or they want to build this brand as a long-term sustainable brand in China, because O2O is a platform that if you don't have those kind of marketing spending and get people to know your brands from the social commerce or those kind of destinations, people won't just naturally buy that products from O2O platforms, because when people are getting into the O2O platforms, they're more like in a shopping mode. So that is number 3. And number 4 is that whether they have enough resources get started for a small scale test, and whether they are confident to scale up in the future.
So being listed on the platform puts you in the game, but it doesn't necessarily mean that consumers are going to find you.
Yeah.
So then you have to
Yes.
a program to drive traffic towards a particular platform or
Yes.
towards a particular offer.
Yes.
Right.
And also, I think it's similar versus with any kind of e-commerce platform. In the platform, there are many different tools to get traffic to your product page or to your stores. But what I mentioned is that we need to solve the problem at the very beginning, that people get to know your brand, get to know who you are. But when the consumers are already in the shopping mode, back to that time, when they look at your product page, they don't get strong motivation to click through and also pay for your products. So that's why we also need to, in the social platforms, to get to people to know who we are. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's complicated. Digital marketing in China can be very expensive.
Yes, true.
But it sounds like it's possible to start small at a city level.
Yeah.
It's very possible to do that.
Yes.
So how would a brand go about deciding how small to go, how to select a city? What would be a sensible approach?
Actually, I think most of the brands who are collaborating with us right now, they don't start from very scratch. They already have some experience to operate business in China. So normally they will know roughly what kind of consumers they want to target. And also they basically know the city tier or the regions that they might be more potential or have bigger potential or stronger. So when we talk with the new brands who are entering into O2O platforms, we will talk with them about the target consumers groups and also link to the problem of the occasion, the 16 occasions, which occasion they need to be focused on. And also another thing is that there are some cities, some key cities or what, they have relatively stronger sales performance. That gives them the foundation to scale up your business. So if you have those kind of information, then you can decide whether you can choose one city, some kind of consumer group, some kind of occasions, and you don't need a big money. You just use 100,000, then you can get started as your first step.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
RMB.
So I've used platforms like Meituan for different kinds of purchases, for grocery purchases, even preferring to go through the Meituan platform rather than the retailer's own platform, because I find it more user-friendly.
Yes.
I've used it for takeaway purchases, even for restaurants just around the corner from me. And I've used it for occasion purchases when I've been out for a meal with friends and I've gone back and we've decided we need to finish the evening with the whiskey, and I've run out of whiskey, there's nothing in the cupboard, I need to get one now. So I've used them for all of those sorts of circumstances. What other opportunities have I been missing? What else could I be using instant retail for?
I think there are so many interesting orders that pop up. For example, when people are just getting to the train station or airport and you find out that you don't have some skincare products, or you don't have something you normally will use, or you don't have a charger basically, then you can just wait here and to place an order in Meituan and wait for the delivery guy. And for example, in the morning I didn't take my umbrella and it's raining like dogs and cats. So I just placed an order of an umbrella and wait there for like 20 minutes. Then delivery guy just gave it to me. So I think the beauty of O2O quick commerce is that right now there are more and more demand here. Consumers, whenever they are and what kind of things they need, they just think of Meituan and start it as a solution. And number two is that there are so many supply in the platforms. Last time, my friends, we go to the bar and he was so wasted, and I want to use a wheelchair to carry him. Then I place an order in Meituan, and exactly there are some stock, some dark stores around the corner. Then I get a wheelchair. So anything you can imagine, you can just match the demand and supply. Then the conversion just happens.
That sounds like a big night out.
Yes.
So, hopefully we've kind of started to kind of examine all of the potential applications of instant retail, or how New Zealand companies might be able to kind of tailor their marketing or their China marketing approaches to incorporate an instant retail element. But it's clearly part of a broader digital strategy that a company must consider. And it must consider obviously the traditional platforms and the way that they approach that. And then start experimenting with instant retail to find out what are the particular SKUs, the particular occasions, the particular unique circumstances that might drive an instant purchase decision. Yes. And then they can work with partners to figure out how to fulfill that.
Because I think in China right now, consumers, they don't go to specific single channel to do their daily shopping, to fulfill their every need. So as a result, the brand cannot think of their business as a single channel perspective. I'm not saying that we need to cover every channel, every possible channel, every emerging channel in China right now, because China's retail environment is so complicated. But what I'm talking about is that don't think of instant retail or any other specific channel itself. Think about a combination. Think about how we leverage different advantages from different channels. For example, I have some brand partners. Some are big, some are small, but they are using this in a very different way. For example, a big chocolate brand I'm working with right now. And for chocolate category, occasion and the big season is everything, accounts for 70-80% of their business, right? So how they're using Douyin and Meituan together to get a bigger sales peak. Normally, they will use Douyin to create more demand, to publishing their new combo pack, their new gifting box, those kind of things. But that was happening 2 days before the Valentine's Day or the Chinese Valentine's Day, because that's when the products can deliver it to your home. From a traditional e-commerce way, right? But when it's approaching the Valentine's Day, you don't get enough time to buy it from the Douyin or whatever other traditional e-commerce model. The only choice you have is the O2O, the Meituan, the quick commerce model. So they're putting every resources 2 days before the Valentine's Day and make sure that they got another sales peak in 2 days before, 1 day before, and also the Valentine's Day itself. So it's a great combination to make sure that in the big season, they get a bigger peak. So that is for the mature brand. I have another brand who is an emerging new brand. They are in a very new categories that requires a lot of consumer educations. So they are kind of using the Douyin as a platform that give consumer a lot of education, and they are making one single product as a blockbuster. But they are a new brand. They don't have a strong offline sales team. So they're just using the influence from the Douyin to persuade 10 top dark store owners to get products listed in their dark stores. Then they're using the influence, using the early success they're making from the Douyin, and make sure that they exploring a new channel, which is O2O. So I think different brands can use the combination of different channels to fulfill their own business purpose. Yeah.
During the course of this conversation, we've used a few terms that may not be familiar to some of our New Zealand listeners. So for the sake of kind of helping people to understand the environment in China, let me just ask you a few questions about how you would define some of these concepts.
Sure.
So first of all, instant retail, O2O, quick commerce, how would you define that for our listeners?
I think we mentioned a lot about different commerce in China. We have digital commerce, which is the big name. I think it equals to the overall e-commerce, meaning all of the business that's happening online, right? And then we mentioned about traditional commerce, which mainly referring to the shelf-based commerce, including Tianmao, Jingdong, or those kind of big giants. And basically, we also mentioned the interest commerce, mainly referring to Douyin, Kuaishou, and the Redbook. And also with today's topic, we talk a lot about the quick commerce, instant retail, and in China, online to offline O2O. They are basically the same thing, and they are the quick commerce model. The big difference between these three, first of all, the traditional e-commerce model and also the quick commerce model. E-commerce model means that we basically have one or two different brands, flagship stores, and they're requiring 2 or 3 days using the express delivery to deliver to your home from the brand's national warehouse. That is the traditional e-commerce platform. And also the quick commerce platforms, meaning that the brands are relying on thousands of offline existing stores, the physical stores, and also some kind of the dark stores together to fulfill the consumer demand nearby the stores. Normally, the store will be 3 to 5 kilometers away from the consumer's location. So it is relying on the delivery guy with scooters to bring the products to the consumer's front door. So that is the big difference of these two. It's more from the consumer experience wise. And for the interest commerce and also the shelf-based commerce, it's another difference. For interest commerce, it's more dynamic, more emotional, more relying on the exploring of consumer themselves. So they will keep scrolling the different contents from those kind of social platforms and get to buy something. But from a shelf-based commerce model, it's more structured. It's more relying on the searching intention. When consumers searching for something, they directly go to the destination and buy something. So those are the different. I hope I can be clear.
So you mentioned dark stores a few times. When I think about dark stores, I imagine a little store, little nondescript, unmarked, unbranded storefront with lots of boxes, almost on the street, with lots of electric scooters parked outside it. Is that what a dark store looks like, or what does it look like?
Kind of, but right now they have names, and there are some chained dark stores already. Talking about dark store, meaning that the direct difference versus the light store is that the light store are those stores you see 1,000 of times before. It's like the Carrefour, the Walmart, those kind of stores. It's like the existing branded and chained route to market for those kind of FMCG brands. So normally you will have the hypermarkets, which is bigger, you will have the supermarkets, which is smaller and nearby your neighborhood, and also some convenience stores like 7-Eleven or those kind of things. And also in China's environment, you also see some non-branded mom and pop stores. For those stores, the similarities is that they are more relying on the offline traffic, the physical person, to get to the final conversion. But right now, they are also leveraging the online platforms to have some online business. But the majority of their business are from the physical person. Yeah. But for dark stores, you don't know where they are. They might be just a small room in your neighborhood, and they're quite small, normally 30 to 40 square meters, and also they will hold like 6,000 SKU. and they will have a broader portfolio but smaller stock. And only the scooters know where they are, and they just go to the dark stores to pick up whatever is ordered from online and delivered to the consumer's front door.
And would those dark stores have cold chain? You know, if I had fresh produce,
yes.
If I had chilled products, they would have the facilities to handle that?
They will have the facilities. So the biggest difference is that those dark stores, they are relying purely on the online traffic, online orders. They don't do any specific offline physical person's business. So that is the difference. But right now, as the dark stores are growing pretty fast, I normally call them, the new generation, the new mom and pop store, in today's China's environment. And also, as it's growing too fast, so right now they also have some chain big players in the dark store areas.
Right.
Yeah.
And finally, we talked a little bit about scenario-based consumption. Can you just explain in a little bit more detail what a typical scenario-based consumption moments might be?
Yeah, I think we can share the full definition of the 16 different occasions or the scenarios. For example, a very iconic occasion is called late night snack, because overall, the O2O platforms is growing pretty fast. But behind that, a big driver is that after 10 o'clock, those kind of physical stores are just closed. So during that closed hours, consumers still have demand. They still want to buy something, grocery shopping and everything. That's why the late night orders are pretty big on O2O platforms. So that's why late night can be a very big slot. And then people figure out that when it's getting late night, people want to have some self-indulgence. So normally they will buy a lot of snacks and also some barbecues and some beer or some wine or those kind of stuff. So big night snack is a very big occasion of those kind of big 16. That doesn't mean during that slot people can only buy snack or barbecue or those kind of things, but it's a majority of the sales volume where it's coming from. But at the same time, people also will add on some, personal care products, those kind of things. So that is basically big night snack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when it's 11:30 at night and I feel like a donut,
yeah,
that's my
big
moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
your late night snack.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much for coming in and talking to us about quick commerce in China. I've learned a lot. Really appreciate you bringing your expertise, and hope that we can work with you and New Zealand brands to maximise the opportunity of quick commerce in China.
Thank you. And also, I hope every brand who are getting a chance to listen to this can eventually get a chance to come to China and join into the quick commerce business. Yeah. Thank you.